Hello everyone, and welcome to Starmade. This is going to be a let's play and sort of a tutorial on how to do the basics of Starmade. First I want to make some introductions on what Starmade is. You can think of it as a Minecraft in space with lasers and missiles and explosions. All the good stuff. Okay, so you'll notice here, we're starting off. I'm actually going to get out of that. So this will be your starting inventory. You have a weapon which can go select 0, pew pew, pew pew. It's more for like self-defense if somebody's coming after you with another weapon, for more player-on-player action. See, on your HUD you have the escape right here. Inventory is I, that accesses all your inventory here. B is shop, whenever you're near a shop. T is your weapons computer, which controls all your lasers, your missiles, your pulse cannons, everything. And as navigation, here you can see all the different dots, such as shops, ships, players, and asteroids, which they're not here right now. But you can see one right there. Blue diamonds mean neutral enemies, or neutral targets, which could be unmanned ships, trading guild, or just things that haven't been factioned yet, or factions that are neutral to you. Not here displayed as green ones, which are allies, which could be in the same faction, which could be in an allied faction, or it could be your own ship. And enemies, which are red, which could be like pirates or enemy factions. Other things are planets, which are brown, and stations, which are purple. Stations can also be green for friendly factions and orange for enemy stations. Okay, so when you start off, you'll notice down here that you have 25 gray hole, which hole is to keep. It's like just a buffer between the lasers and yourself. Power blocks, which provide power for thrusters, weapons, shields, and anything else you have, such as lights. A weapons computer, which controls your weapons. Theoretically, you could have one weapon computer that controls an infinite number, but some people like to put different weapons in case different firing angles. You have your antimatter cannons, which are fast firing, but they can't do a lot of splash damage. They're more single target to break down the shields and focus on the core. You have your ship core, which you can use to build the ship and is pretty much just a necessity. So to start off, you can press the X, you'll name your ship because you want to name it something. So starter, there we go. You'll see it as ship spawn, just a key right now. Hit the R key and you go into flight mode. You can move around with W, A, S, and D. Q and E control your elevation and up and down. See, up and down. And Z and X control your spin. If you ever get an orientation like your, say like this, see everything's all messed up, press C and it orients you straight. Now if you press space, you go into build mode, which shows you the core and you have free movement around. So you can move in all different directions and view everything from every different angle. That arrow inside the box shows you what direction your ship is facing. So let's say you put a thruster here and some hole here. We can zoom out with holding shift and scrolling the mouse wheel and you notice that our ship is now backwards because there's a hole on the backwards. So always make sure that you're orienting everything to the front. Otherwise you can end up building a ship that's entirely backwards or putting a door where it shouldn't be. Now, when you build, or when you're exploring, you kind of want to just build a little something I call a jetpack, which is just a core, a power block, and a thruster. It can go really fast, really quickly, turn really fast, and it's super cheap, super easy to make, and you can use it to kind of travel around. Oops. Now, power blocks kind of give you an advantage in certain ways. So that kind of that kind of setup is a lot less efficient because if you notice, I'm getting 526.4 energy per second. Now if I do like that, see, I'm getting 763. Oh, I can even make it even better. Oh, no, I guess I can't. But power blocks use cube mechanics. So it ghosts power blocks inside this area, making them bigger. You can increase it more by going like this. Or I kind of hit the limit on the blocks. But you kind of want to build giant crosses of power. So you can build like this, and then you can build up here, and see, it doesn't provide as much because they're not as big, but it's more efficient than doing that. See? You can see how much more efficient it is when we take it away, put it back, take it away, put it back. So you want to build them kind of like this. Oh, missing a power block. Because it makes the most energy. So you'll end up seeing ships built like this because T-shapes. Engines kind of benefit from clustering, so you kind of want to do that. You can make a basic little engine. We can put our weapons computer on. Now, when you put a weapons computer on, you have to press C, which will select something. Press C again on the same object and it'll deselect it. So you can select power units and they don't really connect to anything. Thrusters don't connect to anything, but weapons computers, cores, which show the things that are connected, salvage computers, missile computers, etc. So now if you have selected, you put the weapons down. And you kind of want to put them grouping together. So, see how slow those are? Now we'll put a weapon like that, and you see it only fires one, but it fires a lot faster. The more you group together, the stronger they are. And it doesn't actually matter how far the grouping is. So you could build a group like this, and it still fires from the front. You also notice here that because I didn't put any blocks in front of it, it only can view forward. But if I put blocks, say, here and here, now it's totally clear. Because it uses any passing block as invisible, or any touching block is invisible from the front. So if I put things back there, it's not visible on the sides, but put one there, and nope, it's visible, and now that's invisible, because they're both touching. Okay. Now there's also a problem with this first little build, because one main thing is wrong. See, the core is sticking out right here. Because any pirate that comes along and, oh, bam, core, dead. Because all you have to do is overheat the core, and it's dead. You don't have to worry about destroying the whole ship and then destroy the core or destroy power systems and engines for now. Basically, hit core, dead ship. So that's kind of a bad design, but let's try something a little bit better. So we'll make this. Throw the power down. Put some engines back here. Put our weapons computer on. Hit the C. Oops. X. X reverts your view to the middle or to a certain camera point. Some cannons. Put some hull. And now you look. See, the core is right down here. So it's still a little exposed, but you can do this. And it's not so exposed. So now they have to go through these couple blocks in the front to hit your core. Well, you still have plenty of your blocks in the front to defend yourself. However, don't cover your core, otherwise you can't get back into your ship, because you have to have one exposed block to enter your core. So, next thing we're going to do is learn about Symmetry Mode, or Advanced Build Mode, because building a ship that's 1,000 blocks is going to take a long time, one block at a time. But if you hold Control, you'll notice this over here. There's Remove Mode, which shows you, so you place a block and it shows you a red block where you're going to remove. So if you right click, it'll remove that and it will show you there. This shows your X, Y coordinates, so here you can place a wider, taller, or longer. This is useful for building like a large wall, or a large wall of cannons, or power, or something. You can set symmetry planes, which, see this one here, if I place something here, it's going to put it on the other side. Place this one, I put something there, it's going to place it on the other side, and it'll always place it on the other side that it can. Same for removing. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Get back in the core, and you see Symmetry Mode will always stay on. So even if you get out the core, you don't have to reset everything to the middle. And this one, same thing. But you see how the core was in the way here on this one? That's actually a problem. So what we can do is hit the odd symmetry mode, and it goes to the middle of the block. So now I put an odd number here. And you can have a more odd shaped ship, otherwise you're hitting that and you're building, say, yeah, you're building this and this. You can kind of build double shapes, but then your core is kind of sitting out oddly on the side. And it's more for aesthetic reasons that people tend to build with the odd symmetry mode on. But you can really build however you like. There's no set rules that you have to build with symmetry mode and you have to build with odd symmetry, because you can make asymmetrical designs. So let's say put some hole here. Kind of want it to be tanky on that side, and then you hit this down, and you put your cannons out this side, and you see I made a mistake because I didn't heed the arrow at the top. I built it backwards, so I put the hole back here. So you do that, and then you want to build all your thrusters over here. Put some power out the back. Oop, that's not the right button. Power out the back. And look, now you have more of an asymmetrical design, which doesn't look as good. Or it's sort of asymmetrical. There, we'll add more thrusters there, some hole there. There we go. So now it's kind of a box with a gun attached, which can be pretty in its own right. But most people like to do symmetrical builds. So you can fly around. So you can have any number of blocks or symmetry mode set. Come on. So you can build 4 blocks, 8 blocks, and so on. See, it's a very interesting, different design. See, you can make a hashtag, which nobody really likes. So we can destroy the core, and here's the chop. Oop. So you're really slow in space, but you're always oriented to the top. Okay, now we're in chop range. We can tell by the indicator in the top right above the map. You can press B, and you can buy stuff. So holes, which are different colored holes, just gray. You use wedges, which cover it. They're more for decoration, these two. So you can just build a block out, since every block has the same mass currently. They're kind of just for decoration. Different colors are for decorative purposes. Each color has the same stats as the other colors until you get to the glass, which you can see through and has a little bit weaker stats than. No, it has more stats than the regular blocks, but it's see-through. Then there's these ones, which are the hardened holes, which are double the defense of the regular holes, but they're also a lot more cost. See, 3,269 credits as compared to 272. So making a ship out of just these would take a lot of money. See, I have that much, but this is single player, and you can just kind of spawn in credits if you want. But don't do it. Don't ruin yourself. Play the legit way. Different docking modules. Docking module is for docking ships. The turret docking module is for docking turrets. The only difference being turret docking can be freely rotated, while this one is kind of stuck in its whichever orientation it is. Enhancers increase the size of it because the first block is a 10 by 10 by 10, or no, it's 7 by 7 by 7 block. Then each of these increases it out about two blocks wide for each direction you put it. Gravity unit, which you can put on a ship to orient yourself to the ground. So you can click on it and say your ship is huge and you want to walk around it and still have gravity. So you hit one of these and you can gravity to the ship. So no matter which way the ship rotates around, you're still facing up according to the ground, or according to the plating of the hull. A build block, which you can use for planets and for stations. A flex storage, which you use for storage. Doors, which can be used for doors. Power, faction modules, which help protect your stuff from people who are trying to grief you on it and just take it, since they have to be in your faction to do it. But they're very costly, so buyer beware. Power tanks, which are for power capacity. Decorative panels, they're just decorative, they don't provide anything else. Hanging yellow lights, which don't provide a lot of light, but are good for making antennas and radio towers and stuff. A new block that's recently been added is the faction permission module, which you can place down if you're in a faction, and say you can open into a door and you can use it for a greeting hall. So you can say, come to my faction base, you can walk through this door and we can show you around a little quick, and then you can leave. Ships, you can buy ship cores, weapons, computers, cannons, salvage cannons, which are ways of collecting blocks from long distance. The Astro Technician, which is a repair beam to repair damaged blocks. The D-1000 missiles, which are dumbfire missiles, but they do a lot of damage on impact. The SDKB missiles, which are heat-seeking missiles, but they don't have an IFF, which is the friendly fire indicator, so they pretty much track anything that's nearby. And the SDBB missiles, which are lock-on missiles. You hover around the target for a little bit, and then your reticle turns green, and then you can fire them, and it'll lock onto that target and stay on that target until they either run out of fuel or hit the target. Disintegrator blocks, which are like TNT in Minecraft, they explode on impact, and if you place too many in a block, they can blow themselves up, but only if there's too much force applied to them. They're great for making mines or kamikaze ships that you ram into bigger ships and explode them, because they can do a lot of damage. You have the cloaking, which takes about 1,000 power per mass, but will make your ship totally invisible. The radar jammer, which takes about 100 energy a second a mass, but it blocks your diamond. So you see there those blue diamonds? I can just follow that, and even if the ship's invisible, I can still find them. So you kind of need that jammer to keep yourself invisible more. Thrusters, which are for power. Shield dispensers, which when you put them down, they provide a shield, which your enemy has to go through the shield first before they hit through your actual hull. cockpit, which you can use to place down and have a different view. So say you covered your core and it's 50 blocks back, but you want to see from the front of your ship, so you put it on the front and then you can see from your front. AI modules for making AI ships, such as drone ships or just like anti anything ships. They're also used for making turrets, which will automatically fire on your enemies. A power supply beam, which is in progress right now, but you can supply your friendly ships with power. So say you build a power boat, but their ship doesn't have a lot of power generation, but it has a lot of weapons, and your ship doesn't have much weapons, so you use your power beams to hit them, and they'll have plenty of power to fire along. Power drained is the opposite, and it'll drain the power from your enemies. If you drain enough, you can actually stop their shields, their engines, and their weapons for a little bit. Pulse weapons, they're undefined right now, but what they do is you put them into a configuration and they make a small explosion that pushes things back a great distance and stuns them for about 2 seconds. I'll make sure to get to the rest of these soon, but kind of want to get into more advanced building methods. So we'll take all these symmetry modes off. Now you want to have everything connected to your core, but you also want to have a method to get to your core. So let's say you're building a big ship, so you want to build your core exposed. So what you do is build yourself a little floor. You can build like this. Want to make sure that's in the middle. Oh, ran out of blocks. But you can see the basic concept of having a core in the middle of the ship. So you can still see out. You put like a view screen there, or you put glass, and you can see out. You can build your ship around that. Now what would be a bad idea is to do it a different way. So you have your core, then you go like this. Like that. Build your floor. So you can see out the front, but now your ship's super exposed, so once they get through your shields, they can just hit your core really easily. That's part of the don't build your core in the front method of building. You want to put it as far back into your armor as you can, because for every block they have to shoot through, it gives you more time to either run away or fight back. Oh, don't want to destroy that. So you cannons. So that's your little jetpack. You can use it around. Now let's explore something like this to show off, what you can really do. It's not much, but it's a carrier type ship that features turrets, each with its own hull, large hull spaces, plenty of docking for smaller ships, features some glass, some lights, and shields and power. It doesn't have much weapons of its own, but it relies mainly on its fighters and turrets. And that's it for this episode. But next time we'll go into more advanced techniques of building missile ships, laser ships, and exploring stations for first-time users. And, as always, you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.